What's going on YouTube? This is Tyler back with another video, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to lose $10,000. All kidding aside, guys, I try to keep it real with you all on this channel. The things that I buy, the things that I think that are going to be going up and down in the market. Also talking about my wins really throughout the grading process. But I'm also going to share with you guys whenever I do an absolutely awful job at what I do in the hobby, which is grading cards and then flipping them. So, as we all know, PSA shut down earlier this year, and it really left a lot of people questioning, like, what in the world do I do? This model was something that, I was building, and I had all this inventory that I wanted to get graded, and now I can't do anything with it. Like, what do I do with my inventory? Well, I decided to try and give SGC a try once they got their price point down to $30 per card. So I sent them 2 orders, and I've shown you guys these reveals on the channel, but I've not shown you all the financials since I've gotten these cards sold. So what I've done is I've put these cards into an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to go through this, and I'm going to break down what went wrong in this video and why I lost $10,000, and why you, if your goal is to lose $10,000, you can follow the same process and do just that. And the reason why I'm making this video, one, I'm very transparent and open with you guys. I've done a really good job. I've had really good success over the past couple of years with sports cards, but I also need to tell it like it is. If any of you all are out there trying to think about submitting to SGC and you are expecting to have a really solid return, so I'm going to break this down and show you guys you might want to think twice about that. So it's my job to really inform the viewers who are watching this and assuming, hey, he just did these SGC reveals, he actually might, I'm going to try to do the exact same thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I owe it to you guys to get this content out there and show you what I just did is a bad decision. And I'm also seeing a lot of people in the forums, like blowout forums, saying, PSA shut down, I'm kind of thinking about giving them a try. And I've posted in there, guys, do not do this. I just lost $10,000. I lost $5,000 on each order I submitted. Do not do this. And I'm going to do a separate video on why I think SGC is not selling the way PSA is, because I've just seen it. Like, I've just seen firsthand that the resale is not there. That's a story for another day. We're not going to go into that in this video. Today, we're going to talk about how you can lose $10,000 if you follow what I just did. So, first order, you all hopefully have watched the videos and seen the cards that I submitted. There's a combination here of ultra modern and also old modern. I will say a lot of it is basketball and modern football. That's not a good recipe for success right now on this market. So you all can see the sale prices. I'm going to skip through to the second tab and just show you briefly the second order, which was a smaller order. Actually, the first one was the small order. The second one was a larger order. And let's just look and see what the financials of these were. So the first order, that was a 52 card order, about $10,000 cost of goods sold, grading expense $1,650, sales only $6,200. I sold every single card, so I have no inventory left. This is all after fees. So I had a couple people ask questions about fees. Whenever a consignor sells cards for me, again, all these cards are sold through consignment. That's another frequently asked question that comes in the comments. Every card I sell, for the most part, goes to consignment. I use Probstein 123. He is my go-to. So whenever I get an itemized list, it already has all the fees, everything taken out. So this is what I actually take home. This is what is actually deposited into my PayPal or now bank account. So that's the cost of goods sold, grading expense, sales. So you can see assets $6,241.64 minus the liabilities, which is the cost of goods sold plus the grading expense, $11,468. This order netted me a loss of $5,226.42. That's a negative 45.57 return. That is awful. That's so bad. And it's not like I bought these cards, like the return, you get these really quick. So you buy them raw, you send them off, and you get them back. And it's not like I just waited a year for the market to tank. Like a lot of these cards I bought kind of whenever they came out. And I will say for this order, a lot of the purchases were cards in February, March, April. Some of these, yeah, April. So February, March, April, that was the time frame, which is probably not the best time to be buying a lot of things. So you can see, all right, that order did bad. Let's go to the next order. So skim through here, you all can see the cards, see the sale prices. I would highly recommend that if you have not blown this screen up, I'm not going to zoom in because I need to actually see the prices here. This is my expected old. This is actually really interesting. I don't think that I've actually looked to see this. Let's see, J1 through J99. This order sold $9,000 less than what I expected it to get. Granted, a lot of these cards I was expecting to send to PSA. Now, a couple of these, no, I ended up buying them after the PSA shut down, like these Ohtani refractors. Thank God I actually had some Ohtani refractors in here. Jeez, even they didn't do that great. Like, considering they came back Jim Min, and Ohtani is literally the hottest effing player in sports right now. Like, he's literally doing things Babe Ruth never did. Okay. So that's interesting. $9,000 less than what I thought that I was going to get. All right, let's clear this out because that's annoying. So yeah, zoom this window out because I'm not going to be zooming in because I need to read everything that I have on the screen. So just in case you all cannot see it, blow it up and make it max screen. All right, so these are the cards. I'm not going to go in through each one of these individually. There's just too many cards to go through. A lot of losers. I'm going to break down. That's what these breakdowns are. Is we're going to go into a little bit more detail. Ultra modern versus modern, and then looking at only my gem mint cards versus non-gem mints, and that'll be telling in itself. So this order, a little bit bigger. So I spent $15,420 on in terms of the actual cards themselves. Grading expense $3,124. Sales, I still have one card I've not sold, which is this Luca Chinese New Year cracked dice. It is numbered to 88 and it came back a 10. I have no idea what this card is worth. Again, SGC doesn't sell for crap, so I have no idea what I'm going to get out of this card. Overall sales $13,470.73. So overall, the ROI, granted I spent more money and I got more sales, but I still lost almost $5,000 on that order, $4,823.68. That's a negative 26% ROI. This is the second order that I did. So the first order, negative 45. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit better. I'm 20% better than what I was. Thanks, Ohtani, for that. Now, if we looked at combined, you all can see the combined numbers here. $25,000 that I spent on the cards, almost $5,000 grading expense, only getting $20,000 in sales. So you can see the assets, $20,000, liabilities basically $30,000. Profit is a negative $9,914, which is a negative 33.04%. That's terrible. That is awful. This is by far the worst order that I've ever done. And this is the first time that I've had an order where I did not profit on it since 2017. And that 2017 was during the Aaron Judge mania. After the All-Star break, he went into a massive slump. And there were so many people speculating on his cards. I made a ton of money on my orders in April, May, June, early July, but after the All-Star break, he had that slump. So the cards I was buying then to grade that came back in August and September of that year did not do good. Some of those I broke even, but I never have had an order where I was negative over 10% that I think of. I've had orders that are negative, but never negative 10%. So now, if you look at these grades, you all can see, these grades aren't that great, right? I see a lot of 8.5s, a lot of 10s, 9.5s. And one of the fallacies that I see online, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, is that SGC 9.5 is equivalent to a PSA 9, and sometimes it's better than a PSA 9. That's true, but not really true and not consistent across every card. Again, I'm going to keep that for a separate video. But do not get sucked into looking at comp prices for SGC. Do not do it. I'm telling you, these cards that I sold were nowhere near comps. Nowhere near comps at all. You cannot trust a SGC comp. A PSA comp, you can. An SGC comp, a card could sell in one grade for $200 one day and $100 the next, which is exactly what happened in this order. The comps did not hold at all. All right, so what I did is I ended up breaking out ultra modern versus modern to see, okay, maybe it's just that ultra modern we know is tanking because they made too much of it and it's completely junk. We know that Prism sucks. We know Optic sucks. We know Select sucks. Like, I bought a little bit of Select football that came out this year as it was going down, anticipating that I was buying at the bottom. It didn't hit the bottom. It still is going down. I mean, Panini, yeah, just Panini. I could go on a full diatribe about how much I despise that company. So I thought that maybe it was ultra modern versus modern. And that was the issue. But so what I did is I broke out the old modern here. I didn't segregate by grade yet. But if we look at our modern cards, we have about 93 modern cards, it looks like. Yeah, 93 cards. You can see the grading expense. I ended up itemizing it. It's about $31.83 a card by the time you factor in the shipping and insurance and everything. Their fee is $30 a card. So with this, you all can see, I would just go straight to the profit. Negative $5,300, negative 30% ROI. Okay, so the modern is still a negative 30% ROI. If we look at ultra modern, and again, keep in mind, there's one card I did not sell. We're looking at negative $4,612, negative 36.5% ROI. We're talking about a difference in 6% ROI. Okay, so really not that big of a deal. It didn't matter if it was ultra modern. It didn't matter if it was modern. If we look at SGC 10s versus not SGC 10s, let's do the non-SGC 10s first because that's even more interesting. And we know that it's probably not going to be good, right? And this is everything combined, ultra modern and modern. So we've got quite a bit of cards here. So $17,759 cost of goods sold. You can see the grading expense, the sales, the receivables. So assets right here. Looking at $11,000, almost $11,000 in sales, almost $21,000 in liabilities. That right there is almost all of my loss. Is the fact that the grading itself just did not produce valuable results. So almost lost $10,000 just on the cards that did not grade Gem Mint. But you all saw that my overall loss for this was $9,900 and something, right? So this right here is my negative 47% ROI. So does that mean that out of all my Gem Mint cards that came back, I still lost money? Yes. So if you go and look at my Gem Mint cards, this is literally every card that graded Gem Mint. I mean, look at this. So there's not as many. There's only 52 Gem Mint cards. $7,500 cost of goods sold, $1,600 grading expense, sales, receivables. You see that? I mean, the assets and liabilities are even. I'm still down $20 just looking at the cards that graded Gem Mint. Now, if we look at these, and we can go into these a little bit more, I mean, Kevin Durant was still in the playoffs. He hadn't tanked yet. These are Justin Herbert field levels, so you can see what I bought these at whenever they were going down, and clearly I still lost money because by the time I got them back for grading, the value just did not hold. We're looking at a Prism Dame Lillard, and I think I sold this. It was right around the time they were still in the playoffs. Maybe they just got eliminated. That just completely tanked. Granted, I bought that card way back in February or something like that. LaMelo Ball. This card is impossible to grade. It's impossible to grade. Impossible. Paid $166 for it because it looked clean, and I only got $290 out of it after fees. That's not great. Not good. You can see some of my really terrible purchases. I was expecting these flashback silvers to do way, way better from this year's Prism. They absolutely did not. I bought 2 LeBrons. Look at this. A Gem Mint silver LeBron. It was $958. It sold for $312 after fees. So I took a beating on really anything ultra modern. I really took a beating on. That was Gem Mint. But again, if you look at, so I guess the key here is the gold standard, and I could probably break this out a little bit more, is if I got Gem Mint cards on everything that was old and broke that out, maybe I could be profitable. But the odds of getting old cards, again, 2017 and older, and having a very high gem rate with SGC and being profitable, I mean, you're looking at a 20 to 30% ROI on the best of the best cards that are 2017 and older. It's just not, it's not possible. Just not possible. So yeah, you can look at a couple so you can see some winners. You can also see some losers. I mean, look at this Kobe insert. I mean, this is 27. It's considered modern. Revolutionaries Impact insert. I paid 101 raw for it. It sold for 74. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, Kobe's stuff hasn't really tanked all that much. Like, the high-end stuff, yes, the high-end stuff is tanked. A lot of the hyped rookies. But if you look at his refractors and inserts, a lot of those things are still holding pretty strong. Like, those have not moved that much. Let's see here. This LeBron Scoring Kings, I sold a PSA 10 of this card for $800. And I thought that was low. This is a second-year Scoring Kings insert. I was expecting maybe to get 300 out of this. It sold for 167. It's very, very low. It's just an indictment on the market. This Fernando Tatis foil board, this is a second-year foil board, parallel numbered to like 161, 162. I only made $51. I didn't even make that, actually. By the time you factor in the grading fees, I mean, I may have made $10. I may have made a McDonald's Happy Meal on that card. That's just sad. Dirk Nowitzki, finest rookie. Again, you're paying $20 raw, $30 to get graded, $80 after fees. It's just the risk reward on these cards is just not there. Like, you literally have to hit gem on every card and then hope that you're not buying cards that are tanking, like modern football, which I will not touch modern football. After this, and the sad thing is I have a ton more of this stuff, like Chronicles Prism that came out, that I'm going to take another beating on. That, I mean, I've learned my lesson. I'm not touching modern football. It's basically going to be Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. Like, I'm literally not touching modern football. Panini is just making way too many cards. And for all the people out there clearing out Walmart and Target, like, good job being able to flip that product, but you are literally flipping turds to somebody paying you money for them. Like, just know that. And hopefully Panini knows that, because they are printing this stuff to oblivion. It is terrible how much devaluing they have really devalued their brand. Like, any Panini product, just it's not something to collect. It's not something to invest in, collect. It is total junk. So that's like my saying. All right, so that's that. I really don't have anything else to say. You all can kind of see the numbers here and pick and choose. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could slice this. You could break it down by ultra modern versus modern and segregate the grades. The key here, though, is SGC is just not something that you need to be sending your cards to. This is a place that if the grading fee was similar to what I paid last year, which is around $7-8 a card for bulk, I made $10,000 on the order last year. Like, I had a really good ROI on that order. But not this year. This year it basically canceled out everything that I made for SGC last year. The bulk of whatever I made was in PSA. I only sent SGC one order last year. So, yeah, guys, if you all are thinking about submitting to SGC, please, I hope that you watch this video, share this video with other people, because there are going to be so many of you who are going to make the same mistake. I know it's so tempting to send cards in, and it's like, man, I got to get a piece of the action. Like, some action's better than no action. Do not do it. Do not do it. Like, there's a bunch of rules right now in the hobby. Do not buy ultra-modern football. Do not buy ultra-modern basketball. Do not submit to SGC, especially if you're submitting ultra-modern football and ultra-modern basketball. Like, those are the things. Be patient. Have hands of diamond hands with your cards, and wait for PSA to reopen. Yes, they're going to reopen services that are going to be ungodly expensive, but wait on PSA bulk to open up in 2022. Like, literally, I have a stack of cards that I'm not sending to SGC or any other company until PSA opens up, because that's the only brand that really has good resale value. Like, please do not submit to SGC right now. There is probably a market for some cards, and I will say I probably will submit some more cards there, just because I want to get out of whatever I've bought, especially some of this ultra modern football. Like I really want to purge myself of everything that I've gotten from ultra modern football. So I'll be having another video that's coming up that shows sort of what that is. And honestly, I've just been sitting on it because I'm like kind of bummed out that the SGC market is what it is right now. It's just not good. I think that there might be a market for some of those higher end cards, like if you're in the $400 to $500 to $600 range and they are gem mint and you can get them graded for $30 and get them back in a couple weeks. That may not be a bad play. You're still looking at best case scenario break even, especially if it's ultra modern football, which is what I have. So that's it, guys. Please share this around. If you're thinking about submitting to SGC, please take a look at these cards that are in this order. Like, look very, very, very carefully. Do not trust comps on eBay. Do not trust them because it's so volatile with the SGC holder. And that's that. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching. More content's coming.